My makeup cannot look any more worse than this, I think. Maybe I'm underestimating myself, but who knows? But still, we are rolling with it, okay? So let's update Pan Those Palettes project. Yes, you heard it right. I'm panning more than one palette this year. So if you're not familiar with Pan That palette, basically you choose one eyeshadow palette to work on until it's done. And this year I am doing Better Together collaboration and fun-sized theme. So community of makeup banners vote on the theme for Pan That palette, and then we all get to vote on it. And that happens in Fantastic Ladies Facebook group. But that's the introduction for what project I'm doing. I am working on 4 palettes, technically 3, 4th is a quad, but still. And I have really exciting update to share with you guys. I have another empty, which is really exciting because I'm finally seeing more progress in my last year's Pan That palette, which I rolled over to this year. If you are new here, please consider subscribing to my channel. My name is Rafneet and I make a lot of panning videos. I mostly pan eyeshadows. So let's take a look at our very first palette, and our empty comes from that palette as well. And that is my e.l.f. Matte for Matte palette. It is their warmer palette called Summer Breeze, and I got it back in 2017. Yeah, this is very old. So I picked this palette up last year for Pan That palette. It was last year's theme for kicking it old school, and that's the reason I picked it up, but I did not finish it. So I am continuing to work on this one to finish, and we have one empty. So this is what this palette looked like last month. And this is what it is looking like today. We managed to finish this eyeshadow completely. There was only a tiny product remaining in here, and I used it up after using it 10 times. I used it all over my lid, into my crease, as a transition. So yeah, I used it a lot to get it done. And then moving over to this eyeshadow, I used it a total of 7 times, and I think we have cleared some product from here. Now that this pink is gone, I think I can focus on this one because I can only use one pink at a time, and there wasn't a lot of difference between the shades of these two, especially because it is very blendable. You can really shear it out. And next exciting progress is on this mustard shade. We only have this much remaining. So last month we had about that much product and it was quite full. So what I did, I scraped off the top portion and then I repressed that, and then I used it up, and then I started working on the remaining portion. I used it a total of 11 times to get this much progress. And this eyeshadow, it looks completely different. So this is a brown shade. I use it in my eyebrows, I use it on my outer corners, and this was getting very thin around the edges. So I was trying to pick up the product and it crumbled. So I repressed it in the pan and then I used it up that way. Since last update, I managed to use it 19 times. That's a lot, yes. And moving on to black eyeshadow, this is a slow mover. I am really hoping that I can get it done this year. I'm trying to wear more smoky eyes. I'm trying to incorporate it into my eye looks more often because I mostly use a little bit of it in my outer corners or as a liner, but now I'm actually trying to focus on getting a lot of product from here and using at least outer half of the lid, but not every day though. So yeah, we'll see how much progress we'll be able to make on this one by end of this year. So since last update, I used it a total of 18 times, which is pretty good. And this palette overall, it looks so much well loved. And for next month, I think I'll be setting a lot of empty goals for July. Yes, you heard it right. So from this palette, I would want to finish both of these eyeshadows. I know it can be stretch. I think I'm very close to finishing these ones. I'm going to miss it and this one once they're gone because they're really nice shades. This is a true neutral brown, so yeah, I'll definitely miss this. And this is a really nice blendable mustard shade. You can literally sheer it out so much. That's what I loved about the mattes in here. But yeah, it's time to say goodbye to this palette. By finishing it, obviously. So that's my first palette. Very exciting progress. And next is this Ice Ice Baby palette. This is from Essence. It has a lot of progress, but I'll explain what I did with, I guess, 3 of its shades. Let's take a look at what it looked like last month. And this is what it looks like today. You can see we have so much progress going on here, here, and on this one. What I did for these eyeshadows, I scraped top layer of all of these eyeshadows. Not a lot though, but just a thin layer from top. And then I mixed that with my e.l.f. bronzer in my Pan That palette that I'm trying to finish. That was a failed experiment. It turned out gray. So what I did, I scraped some product from my bronzer as well, and I decided to press it into the same pan, like into the same e.l.f. bronzer, and it was horrible. So I ended up using it by mixing with the actual bronzer, or I was very sparingly using it on my cheeks, but I did not make a lot of Franken, so that helped me out in finishing whatever I pressed in there. I'll talk more about it in my project pan update, and also I'll show you the e.l.f. bronzer in that update. Let's get back to this one. So whatever eyeshadow I got out from here, it's done. Let's take a look at the very first eyeshadow in here. My goal for last time was to hit the corner, which I did, I guess, after 3 or 4 uses. And in total, since last update, I used it 14 times. I also counted the uses on that Franken sort of contour shade that I made. Those uses are included in here. 14 uses on this one, and this we finished last month, I think. This eyeshadow called Vanilla Ice, we managed to use it 15 times. I used it 2 or 3 more times as a blending shade, or I would mix it with this one. So yeah, I have 15 uses on this one. This eyeshadow was called VIP. And then moving over to the bottom row, the first eyeshadow in here is called Too Gold. So if you remember, it crumbled last month and I repressed it in here. I was using it again and then it crumbled again, but I pushed it back into the pan and I decided to just use that part up. So I did focus a lot on it and I was wearing it all over my eyelid. I was topping it off with a light pink sort of shimmer shade that belongs to my Wet n Wild Walking on Eggshell squad, which is also in this project. So win-win. And I used it a total of 14 times to make this progress. I'm really happy how it looks today. And this one, I managed to use it 6 times, and this is called Love Yourself. This is a very pretty silver shade, and I really don't need a lot of it to have it show up on my eyes. So yeah, that's the reason it's not moving as fast as it could have. But again, I'm using it mostly with my finger as an eyelid shade. I think if I start using it with a tiny brush as an inner corner eyeshadow, I'll be able to finish it much quicker, I think, because then I'll be using a brush with it and then I'll also be using it as an eyelid shade. But I'm not worried about it. I think I'll get to it eventually. As long as I'm making progress on this one, I'm fine. Oh, sorry about this one. I read the wrong line. So this is called I'll Glow and I used it 8 times. And next eyeshadow is called Collaborate and Listen, and I managed to use it 14 times as well. The pan has expanded. Also, some uses on this one come from that Franken contour, but I also used it on my eyelids. I think in my previous video, I was wearing it on my outer corners and I had it blended with this one. So yeah, I am reaching for these eyeshadows on their own as well, which is the reason why I won't be making any more Frankens out of these eyeshadows, because these are very dark and I don't think I would need a lot of the product from here in order to, let's say, cool down my bronzer. So yeah, it's better if I just use it as an eyeshadow, because then I'm reaching for these ones more to build them up. So yeah, that's the reason why I'll be keeping this palette intact, and we'll just keep working on all these eyeshadows until they are done. There's not a lot of product in this one. or in this one. So my goal for next month would be to, should I say it? Should I say it? I low-key want to finish both these eyeshadows. Not this one, but both of these eyeshadows. But I don't know if I'll be able to do that. Should I still set finishing them as a goal? I don't know. But yeah, that's what I want to do, but I'm not sure if I'll get there. Okay, you know what? Let's set that as an official goal. If I'm able to finish both of them, fine. If I'm not, that's also okay. But yeah, now that I have set a goal, I think I will not stop until I hit it. That's my Ice Ice Baby palette. Next one is again from Essence, and it's called Bronzed This Way, and this is how it was looking like last month. We only had 2 eyeshadows remaining from here. This eyeshadow palette is also something that I had a lot of progress from the past, and I only had 4 eyeshadows remaining. Out of those 4 eyeshadows, 2 of them had great progress, so I was able to finish them very early on in this project, and this is how it's looking like today. So we only had product remaining on the edges, and I was able to push all of it into the center, and then I managed to expand pan on this one a little bit. This is very pigmented. It takes a lot to see any sort of progress on this eyeshadow. So the first eyeshadow called Love Yourself, I used it 6 times, and then this one called Perfect Babe, I also used it 6 times. This is something that I want to finish, but not right now, because this is one of my favorite shades and I don't want to see it gone so soon. But yeah, there's not a lot of product remaining for this one. It's very flat. I think I can get it all used up under 10 uses, but I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. And that bronzed sort of shade in the palette called Perfect Babe, I'm wearing that one on the center of my eyelids today. I'm of course wearing black on my outer corner, but that's my Bronzed This Way palette. Very short update on this one. No goals. I just want to use both of those eyeshadows at least 5 times each. Now let's move on to our Wet n Wild Walking on Eggshells quad. And this is how it was looking like last month. We had 1 eyeshadow done from here. We were working on 3 remaining eyeshadows. This is how it's looking like today. So the very first transition sort of shade in here, I used it 14 times, and there's not a lot of product remaining in here. And next eyeshadow called Brow Bone. By the way, I'm referring these eyeshadow names from the back. So yeah, this one I used 19 times, and it was very thin from the edges. So I managed to clear that up. Now we only have product remaining on both corners in here. We have a little bit product here and then a little bit more on this side, and this is again something that I want to finish by next month. Yeah, ideally I would want to finish this too, but I'm in no rush because I do like this eyeshadow a lot, and I don't need a lot of it because I use it to kind of clean my edges and blend my transition into my brow bone, so it really works well for that. It's time for this one to get used up. And then this eyeshadow called Eyelid, I used it 14 times. So this is the one that I was wearing over that dark gray shimmer sort of eyeshadow from my Ice Ice Baby palette. Even though it does not show a lot of progress, but it is very thin because I was trying to use product on top and bottom very evenly. So yeah, this is very thin, and that's what walking on eggshells look like. So I am overall very excited and optimistic about the progress that I'm making, and I'm hoping I'll be able to finish all these eyeshadows by end of this year. I have doubts about the black eyeshadow, but I have to use it a lot in order to get it done, which means that I will be wearing a lot of dark looks. I don't know if I want to do that in summer, but I'll try to wear at least a few of them every week. But yeah, that's my update, and let's go over the goals for next month. So for Summer Breeze palette, I want to finish the mustard shade and the brown shade. Yes, And my overall goal for all of my eyeshadows in this project is to use them at least 5 times each. And that really helps to have some steady progress on them. Even though I'm not focusing on one eyeshadow, it still has some progress by end of the month. So yeah, for this one, let's aim for finishing both of these eyeshadows. For Eye Size Baby Palette, let's aim on finishing this one and this one. So yeah, 2 eyeshadows from here. I don't know if I'll be able to do that, but it's just a goal. And I think if I really focus, I might be able to do it. But yeah, I'll go for it. And for bronze this way, just a usage goal on both of these eyeshadows. I think it should be easy for me to reach 5 uses on both of those. For last eyeshadow quad, I want to finish this eyeshadow up. So yeah, next update is going to be very exciting because I have set goals to finish 5 eyeshadows. Yes, that's right. However, I'm doubting about 2 of them, but still, I'll see how much progress I'm able to make on them. But yeah, that's all I have for today's video. Thank you so much for sticking with me until the end. I hope you have a wonderful day or night, depending on when you're watching my video, wherever in the world you are. I'll see you in my next one. Until then, take care. Bye.